Yo, let's chat for a bit. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday evening? I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Hope everybody having a blessed weekend. Appreciate everybody coming on here. Want to start my uh, lives off with saying God is good. God is good all the time. And I appreciate everything that God has done for me, so I appreciate that. Couple of public service announcements. I just got done shooting a real quick reel. I just posted it on TikTok. I posted it under all my business pages and stuff like that. Want everybody to tap in to Lionmar Media. Lionmar Media is a business that I have rebranded from my old one. I'm still working the kinks out a few things, but I'm gonna try to push things as best as I can. Also, I'm going to, try to do more media in front of my my little studio in the basement. I'm trying to get that going again because I miss that. I miss kind of like shooting pictures in my own basement, in my comfort of my own home. So I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Other than that, everything else is all good. Church was all good. Had a good turnout. Shout out to Reverend Turner. Reverend Turner has done a wonderful job so far. I know he's only been there a couple weeks, but he is doing a great job. I appreciate everything that he has done so far. Right now, like I said, just a few announcements. Like I said, I just did my reels. I'm trying to do a lot of things different this week. Hopefully I can get the ball rolling with the, the store. Trying to get my store, my little shop going online. Just trying to get that up and running. So that should be up this week. I'm just lagging a little bit. I'm slowing up a little bit. But it's all good. I would say all the time, like some progress better than no progress at all. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that opportunity to actually try to sit down and work things out, try to put everything together. And I know it's going to be a busy week. I just know that for a fact. It's going to be a busy week. Also, I wanted to do this podcast with my coworker, Monique. We had a slight issue yesterday. We couldn't do it. She had a lot of problems with her hair. There's no shade to that, but, she wanted to get it braided and things, went a little longer than expected. So we had to reschedule. So hopefully this Saturday coming up, we can actually put the podcast episode together. The debut of Spill the Tea with Mo. It's coming. We just had that little delay, and I'm not upset about it. Things happen. That's just how it is. Things happen. But we are going to get the ball rolling with that, and we're going to continue to try to push that podcast forward. Also, with my podcast, I'm going to start recording next month. Because I'm tired of waiting. I'm going to try to get as much guests as I possibly can. Try to. And we'll see how I go from there, because it's like, I feel like I'm not trying to say I'm wasting my time, but it's like, it's a fear inside me. And I need to avoid that fear. I need to get that fear out of me of not trying to okay, I want to make things perfect. Just do it. Just do the podcast. That's what I'm working on right now. So I'm working out an outline to, just kind of keep things, flowing on my end. And then when I start getting guests, I'll start, using that outline to actually get some things going when it comes to get the podcast going the way I want it to go. So it's like, it's not going to be perfect on the first attempt. I'm not trying that at all, but it's like, I just wanted to have a good flow to get myself started. So other than that, this weekend has been pretty busy. I'm not upset about that, but hey, it happens. It happens. So other than that, everything else is all good. I hope everybody, again, had a wonderful weekend. I want to let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. So the topic I had to put this down in my notes right here, because it's not a long one. It's just I'm trying to keep everything afloat. So my topic for today is, what's something that was considered a luxury when you were growing up, but it's normal today? What did you consider a luxury growing up, but it's a norm today? So basically, a lot of times, growing up, you saw things a lot different. Then if you had that, you probably think that someone was either uppity or they just like, oh, that's real nice. They got that. And now it's kind of like you go to somebody's house and it's like everything's already there. Like, for example, I got this list right here. It made me laugh a little bit, but caller ID. Uh, we had call ID. I ain't gonna lie, we had call ID, but it was way later than what you think. It was way later than we think. So it's like sometimes when you answer the phone, you don't know who's on the other end. But it was kind of like a rarity to see someone really with caller ID at that time. Like even growing up, like who really had caller ID at a young age? I mean, I did, but it was like I said, as time went on, we finally got it. But other than that, everything is all good. But yeah, Tangi, you absolutely correct. Yeah, cell phones, that was another one. I mean, that was, to me, that's kind of like hilarious now because like I said, even sometimes with cell phones, yeah, you have the call ID, but then again, somebody could be calling from an unknown number or unknown call. 9 times out of 10, I block it. Or 9 times out of 10, I just don't answer. But, because spam calls come through all the time. And thank goodness for call ID now because it seems to me these days I get more spam calls than I do regular calls. It's all good. I mean, that's just how it is. So, yeah, call ID, back then, it was a luxury to have that. Like, you'd be like, oh my God, they got call ID. They know who's on the other end. Yeah, back then. But now it's like normal. Even if you have a landline, which I'm not putting nobody down for having a landline, but it's like a landline these days, it's kind of like a rarity because everybody uses their cell phones. Like my mom, she still uses a landline, and I don't see an issue with it, but it's like right now, landlines are pretty much, I won't say extinct because no one really uses them. Everybody's on their cell phone. So yeah, like even right now, it's like I could count on one hand how many people still uses a landline. But anywho, that's a story for another day. Okay, the second one, it was like having more than one TV in the house. Yeah, we had more than one TV in the house. However, that the catch in my household was growing up, it's like everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody, only one area, maybe two. I'll say two because we had two. Was it two? Yeah, it was two. Two TVs. I'm sorry, I'm blowing out proportion. We had 5 TVs in the house. One in my sister's room, one in my brother's room, the living room. Well, / family room, because when we built the family room, we ended up having another TV. My parents' bedroom, and the basement. So, 3 out of the 5 TVs had cable. And take a guess who didn't have it. Me, my brother, and my sister. We had a TV in there, but we was like, oh yeah, you won't get the regular channels. You ain't get no cable. Not in these rooms. Or your granny has one. I mean, with the landline thing, it's understandable now because older people still use them. There's no criticism there. It's just that it's rare, in people in their 30s, their 40s, or I would say their 50s at most. Like it's rare to actually have a landline. It is very rare. I don't like nobody to still use it. It's a rarity now. But yeah, the TVs, we had 5. Only 3 of them had cable to it. So yeah, my parents enjoyed the cable in their room. We couldn't enjoy cable in ours. So, but we did have way more than one TV, and that was kind of like a luxury. But again, we didn't have the cable in our room. So all I did was play video games. So hey, it didn't really bother me because a lot of my shows I really wanted to watch was on regular TV, channel 20, channel 50. You grew up watching like the, Fox stuff, the kids stuff and all that. Yeah, it was a fun time. But yeah, 3 out of the 5 TVs had cable. So if you wanted to watch something on cable, you either had to go to the living rooms or family room. 'Cause like I said, we built the family room as time went on. Either you go there, you stay in my parents' room, and you go down to the basement. And that was pretty much like my father's den, pretty much like his man cave, I should say. Man cave would be sound like a better choice of words, but yeah, those are the only areas you can get cable at. Hey Randy, I'll give you a call as soon as I get done with this live. I got you. But yeah, we have more than one television, but at the same time, it's like it all depends on what we did with them TVs in the house. So I would say that for me it was like a 50-50 thing. We had the TV in our room, but we didn't have the cable. But yeah, other than that, yep. Now they say a computer at every household. I wouldn't really consider that like a luxury per se. But we had a computer. But, as time went on, of course, the internet came around and we just had just that one computer still in the basement. Okay, I could deal with that. But as time went on, I would say within maybe my college years. Maybe my college. No, might have been before that. We had I think we had two computers in the house. I'm drawing a blank right now. But when we had the internet, everybody tried to get on the computer at the same time. But we had a second line. So at that time, we were still using dial-up, which a lot of people would like. I won't say a lot of people, but a lot of kids right now would not even understand what dial-up really means. None of them. So the dial-up thing, we had a second line, but at the same time, if you was on that second line on the phone, you couldn't use the internet. So I can't remember the computer thing per se, but at the same time, I know we had the computer in the basement. But I think as time went on, I think we had a second. I had a second computer in my room, I think. I'm just drawing a blank on that one, but yeah, but we had more than one computer. But I think computers in the house, I wouldn't really consider that like a luxury because I think everybody pretty much had one. I don't think that was really a luxury. That's like with the TVs, but having more than one TV, yeah, that was kind of a luxury. But a computer, I think you probably had one computer in the house, which is totally understandable. So, and that just goes to the next one saying internet access. Yeah, like I mentioned, dial-up was a mess. If you can get on, sometimes you can't even get on. I cannot stand dial-up. Dial-up, you had to hear that loud, annoying noise in the background. I'm like, hell, come on. Like, come on. Like, like, I couldn't stand it. Like, I couldn't stand dial-up. So it's like after I went off to college, I got hooked up to Ethernet, and I know Ethernet's still a thing now, but it's like it wasn't like the Wi-Fi that we're dealing with now, but Ethernet plugged straight in. Oh my God. I've never seen so much speed in my life. So it's like you do that, and all of a sudden you go back home, you're going back home to dial up. Couldn't stand it. But as time went on, of course, you got the Wi-Fi and all this and that. So it's like I would say internet access still, I would consider it a luxury. Depends on your household. I can't judge everybody over time. But yeah, dial-up was the thing. You had the AOL disc come in the mail or any type of other business that actually runs dial-up. But it is what it is. I wouldn't consider it like a luxury, but it depends on what you had. If you had dial-up, you was kind of like lower down there. But it's like if you started at the high end, you probably got way more than what everybody else got. So that's cool. Cell phones. I don't know if that's really a luxury, but yeah, that cell phone that flapped all the way down with the long antenna that was kind of like this long, maybe probably longer than that. Yeah, you might have been a luxury. I know my mom had one, I know my father had one. And I found one, like I had it for a long time just to make it as a joke. I actually kept that. I think it was from a Meritech. If my memory serves me right, a Meritech, that was a long time ago. But yeah, my parents had cell phones and they were really bulky, hardcore. They're probably better than what we got now, like durable wise, but well, what more can I say about that? But yeah, if you had a cell phone back then, there probably was it. But us, of course, we didn't have one. I mean, we didn't have one until we started getting older, of course. But that was around that time cell phones really changed. So just from our perspective, I wouldn't say it was a luxury, but maybe towards our parents, it probably was, from their point of view, a luxury to have a cell phone. Flat screen TVs, took me a long time to get one. Not gonna lie. Took my parents a long time to get one. Not gonna lie. We didn't have, we had the big old TV with the big back on it. A big back TV. I could not stand the big back TVs because they were so heavy to lift. But yeah, that was, back then, that was a luxury because flat screens a long time ago were expensive. They were very expensive. But as time went on, like you get a nice flat screen for like $200 right now, maybe less. Easy to pick up. Easy to pick up. But yeah, a flat screen was a luxury back then if you was able to get one, but we got ours late. I will admit to that. We got ours real late, and I would say a TV is a TV. That's how I look at it. TV is a TV. GPS instead of printed directions. Yeah, you had to have a luxury back there because my parents were the type that had printed directions, MapQuest, all that other stuff. GPS didn't really hit everybody on our family until way later. I'm not trying to say no one never ever used it, but it's like we never really dealt with that. And we had an atlas. My parents had a giant atlas when we go out of town. You know, as time went on, of course, they knew exactly what they were going to and all that. It really wasn't necessary. But we had an atlas. And like I said, as time went on, we used MapQuest for a lot of things, especially if you go into a house you ain't never been to. Lamar, go on the computer and print out the atlas to, not atlas, but the directions to such and such house on MapQuest. That was terrible. That was terrible because the simple fact that I actually had to sit there and do that. But as time went on, I think, with the phones already connected, now the cars pretty much have them. It's like GPS, you really can't avoid it now. It's like it's already there. It is what it is. So, yeah, that was a luxury if you had GPS way back then. A huge luxury. And looking at this list, guys, the final thing on this list, I don't really consider that a luxury. It's just something that's going on right now, and it's top notch now, and that's streaming services. Yeah, that's not really. I mean, I don't even know if there was any streaming back then. Not to my knowledge. Everything seems like streaming is pretty much now. So I wouldn't even say that's a luxury. Like everybody got a streaming service somewhere. I don't care if it's music. I don't care if it's movies. I don't care what it is. You're streaming something. So I wouldn't even consider that a luxury. I would consider that just you having the money to actually get something to stream. So, hey, it is what it is. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with looking at this topic and doing some, thinking on it. But a lot of things that we did grow up with, we thought was a luxury. And then again, there's some things I don't think were a luxury. But overall, as time went on, it's like everything now is like a norm. It's call ID is a norm. Having more than one TV in the house is a norm. A computer in the house is a norm. Like internet, of course, is a norm because that's everywhere. You can go to McDonald's and use the internet. Cell phones, the flat screen TVs, like I said, those are just, that's a dime and a dozen right there. You could just I can go right now and buy one, which I don't have the money like that, but you get what I'm saying. I don't have that type of, I have the money to actually pull it off, but I don't have the money. But it's like, if I had the money, I could run up there right now and get one. Because it's so easy to get now. Flat screens back then, it was pretty tough. And you had to pay high end. So, hey, I understand. But, yeah, other than that, everything else right now is pretty much your standard. And it's costing more money. So, like I said, streaming services, you got to have a whole bunch of them just to say, yeah, I don't want cable no more, but we got all these streaming services. You might as well get cable. But at the same time, the streaming services have everything that cable don't. So that's how I look at that. All right, y'all. I had a good time looking at this particular topic. I'm about to get myself prepared for this I'm gonna say for this evening board. going to bed pretty much. I'll be going to bed soon. I'm not going to bed right now, but other than that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna try to think of a fun topic Thursday. It might be a little serious topic. I might go a little serious. I want to say serious, but something that is really engaging. I could really talk to people about a lot of things. So I'm gonna work on that. So hope everybody have a wonderful evening. Stay blessed, and always, always, I appreciate that, Tangi. I thank you for tuning in. But I would say always, always keep God first, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.